Hey, shalom, shalom. All right, now before I get started with this lesson today, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai Bahasham, Rechakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. All right, now in this lesson today, I'm just going to be bringing about some edification and some understanding towards Matthew, the 5th chapter and the 29th verse. All right. And Lord willing, this lesson will be edifying to you believers of the hopeful elect out there. But with that being said, let's get straight into it. All right. So this is Matthew 5 and verse 29. And this is Yahweh Shai. All right. Speaking because it is in red letter. Yahweh Shai, whom this world ignorantly calls Jesus. All right. His true name is Yahweh Shai. So this is Matthew 5 and 29. It reads, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Verse 30, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. All right, now, one, I may read this and may actually literally think that you have to pluck out your eye, all right, or cut off your hand, all right, in order to, be saved or to enter into the kingdom. All right, which is not true. That's not what that's not what Yahweh Shai was speaking about. He wasn't literally speaking about, all right, plucking your eye out of its socket or cutting your hand off. All right, as we know, Yahweh Shai, he spoke in many parables, and this is one of the parables and dark sayings that Yahweh Shai, spoke of. Matter of fact, let's get Mark real quick. Let's get Mark 4 and verse 33. It reads, and it says, and with many such parables spake he the word unto them, as they were able to hear it. Verse 34, but without a parable spake he not unto them, and when they were alone, he expounded all things to his disciples. All right, so when Yahweh Shai was speaking to the multitudes, he spoke in parables. All right, but when he was private alone with his disciples, he spoke unto them plainly. All right, and why? Because what? Matthew 10, 13 and 10. Let's get it real quick. Matthew 13 and 10. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. It says Matthew 13 and 10. It says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. Right. So it was given unto the disciples, which the disciples are of the elect. All right, to understand the secrets and the mysteries, all right, of the kingdom, all right, of the kingdom of heaven. All right, but unto the rest of Israel, it wasn't given. You see? So as we just proved, all right, Yahweh Shai, he spoke in many, all right, dark sayings, metaphors, parables, all right, and, so on and so forth. All right, and as we're going into Matthew, the 5th chapter and the 29th verse, all right, this is one of them. All right, so let's read it again and unpack it, all right, line by line. So Matthew 5 and 29, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. And verse 30, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So what this is really speaking about, all right, is basically, putting off, all right, the fleshly man, all right, putting off that old man, all right, casting off your members, because as it says here, what your eye, all right, your hand, your eye and your hand are a part of your body. They're a part of your members, your body. You see, and as we're called into this truth, we're called to cast off, all right, that old man, to cast off our members, as we're going to get in Colossians. So what Yahweh Shai was saying here when he's saying, what, pluck out your eye, all right, cut off your right hand, all right, he was basically speaking about casting away anything that is unprofitable, all right, for you in this truth. All right, whether it be, all right, drinking, you drink too much, you have to cast that off. All right, when you are the world, you probably drunk a lot, use a drunkard. When you come into this truth, you have to cast that away from you. All right, or maybe you you was a thief. You like to steal. When you was of the world. When you come into the truth, you have to cast that away from you. All right. Let's read it one more time. All right. It says, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee. Right. So anything that is unprofitable to you in this truth. All right. That's wicked. That's a part of your members. It says, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish. Right. A part of you, all right, the wicked part of you should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So if you don't want to cast off, all right, that evil nature, that, you know, the evil member that's a part of you, you don't want to cast it off. Guess what? Your whole body is going to be thrown in what? Hell. And it's not talking about hell as in, you know, a place where you burn for eternity and, you know, Satan sitting there with a pitchfork, you know, stabbing you and shit. No. All right. This hell is speaking about the grave or the pit. It just means destruction. All right. You're going to be destroyed. And we know that the second death is coming by way of fire. All right. By way of thermonuclear missiles. You see? All right. So let's get verse 30. It says, and if thy right hand offend thee, right. Another one of the part of your, what's like, your hand is a part of your members, or a part of your body. You see? So Yahweh Shai is saying, look, if your right hand is offending you, if, you know, if your eye is offending you, you have to cast it off. So anything that is not beneficial unto you in this truth, that can hinder you in this truth, you have to put it off. All right. And that can come in many different shapes and forms. There's many different examples. All right. It says, and if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So it'd be better if you just put away, all right, whatever may be unprofitable unto you in this truth, all right, than to ultimately hold on to hold on. Shalakia. Let's. I'm gonna repeat that. All right, it would be better, all right, if you cast away what is unprofitable unto you, all right, in this truth, no casting off that old man. All right, then to hold on to that old man, to hold on to what's unprofitable unto you in this truth, and then ultimately you ultimately be destroyed in the end. All right, it's better you destroy a part of yourself that is unprofitable unto you, all right, than your whole body to be destroyed. All right, basically that's what Yahweh Shai is saying. But let's get Colossians, and hopefully this will bring, you know, a little bit more understanding to what I'm saying. So let's get, all right, Colossians, all right, 3 and verse 1. It reads, and if ye then be risen with Hamashiach Yahushai, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High. You see? So we keep reading. It says, verse 2, set your affection on things above, not on things of the earth. Right? Don't worry about earthly things. All right? Things of this world. All right? Set your affection on what? The kingdom. All right? Don't be entangled with the affairs of this world, things of this earth. All right, that are, you know, vanity. Verse 3, it reads, for ye are dead, and your life is hid with Hamashiach in the Most High. Right, when you came into this truth, all right, you came into believing upon Yahweh Shai, you died to this world. So therefore, don't focus on the things of the world, on the things of this earth. All right, now that you died in this world, you now live, all right, in Yahweh Shai. All right, and now your affection will be set on things, all right, of the heaven. All right, and things above, all right, the kingdom of heaven. You see, verse 4, it reads, when Hamashiach, who is our life, shall appear, then shall ye also appear with him in glory. Verse 5, here's the point. It says, mortify therefore your members. So that's where we get back into Matthew 5 and 29. Mortify your members. All right, your eye is a part of your body. It's a part of your members. Your hand is a part of your members. All right, so you have to mortify, all right, your sinful nature. All right, mortify that sinful man. All right, it's better to cast off that sinful man. All right, than for your whole body, all right, to be what? Destroyed, for you to ultimately be destroyed. It's better you just put to death, all right, your sinful nature. I'm hoping this is making sense. I want to keep repeating it so it can make sense to those who may be watching. All right, so it says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection. These are all things that are unprofitable unto you in this truth. You can't be in this truth and have these things on you: fornication, uncleanliness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence or concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry. So you can't have these things are the part of your members. All right, so it'd be better if you mortify these members. All right, so that you can ultimately be saved. You could come into the kingdom. so you can be, delivered in the end. I say that, so you don't be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. All right, I'm gonna read that in the NLT. It reads, "So put to death the sinful, earthly things." All right, what the part of our members, our flesh, lurking within you, have nothing to do with sexual immorality, impurity, lust, and evil desires. Don't be greedy. Oh, for a greedy person is an idolater, worshiping the things of this world. All right, it says, for such things, reading back in the KJV, for which things sake the wrath of the Most High cometh on the children of disobedience. All right, let's read that in the NLT. It says, because of these sins, the anger of the Most High is coming, right? And that's what? All right, thermonuclear missiles. You're being cast into what? Hell, the grave, or the pit. All right, so let's see. That was pretty much it. Hopefully, that brought a little bit more understanding to what I was saying. All right, going back into Matthew 5. All right, if what your eye offend thee, if your hand offend thee, all right, cast it away from your body. All right, meaning what? Your sinful nature, that sinful man, whatever that I want to say, just whatever is unprofitable unto you in this ministry, in this truth. All right. That's where examination come in. You have to know yourself, and you have to be real with yourself. All right. You have to, examine your inner man. All right. And, see if you're, aligning with the standard of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. And again, I made the example. All right. It could be your drinking. You may be drinking so much. All right. And you may be drinking a lot. In the scriptures, there's nothing wrong with drinking, but the scriptures speak about, drinking in excess. All right. Or your weakness could be women. You falling head over heels over a woman. You too busy in the following after another woman. You see, and you're not even focused on the true woman, which is wisdom. All right, your true wife, or you're not focused on this truth. You see, but it could, as I say, it could be many things. It could be you could be playing the game too much. Now you're giving your attention to the game more than this truth. All right, and there's a whole bunch of things, man. All right, you could have been a thief in the past, past life. You can't bring that into this truth. You have to cast it off. All right, you can't steal from brothers. You can't do that when you come into this truth. You can't steal. You can't be a thief like you were in your when you were not in this truth. So, but hopefully this is making sense. Let's get Ephesians real quick and I'll end it there. All right, Ephesians 4 and verse 22. All right, it reads, it's Ephesians 4 and 22, that ye put off concerning the former conversation. Right, you go into this word conversation here. All right, in the Greek, all right, it's anastrophe, which is what? Your manner of life, conduct, behavior, deportment. All right, so you have to what? Put off the former conversation, the old man, right? Your old members, all right, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lusts, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that ye put on the new man, which after the Most High is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away, right, casting off your members, all right, cast off thy eye. If your eye offend thee, pluck it out, all right? If your hand offend thee, cut it off. And therefore putting away lying, that's casting off your eye, plucking out your eye. Speak every man the truth to his neighbor, for we are members one of another. All right, be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. You see, so this really, basically, all right, the old man that you were, all right, in this world, all right, before this truth, before believing upon Yahweh Shai, all right, when you come into believing Yahweh Shai, that old man has to be put off. All right, that old manner of life, which was after what? Which was after the deceitful lust, you have to put that off. All right, you can't hold on to that old man coming into this truth. All right, just look at Deacon Akah. All right, Deacon Akah, when he was of the world, and he's still of the world. I ain't gonna say that. He never really came into believing upon Yahweh Shai. All right, but before he knew he was an Israelite, all right, he had the love of money. All right, his God was money, his own belly. So when he came into believing his truth, all right, he didn't let go of that deceitful lust. All right, and he ended up bringing that love of money, that hustle grind, not hustle grind, that that hustle mentality, want to get the money. He brought that into this truth, and he ended up making a profit off of this truth, off of this ministry. You see, he would, he, was, fine with teaching false doctrine if it mean that he could get his, get more money. You see, he didn't cast off that old man. He didn't cast off his eye. He didn't cut off his hand. You see, so therefore he's gonna get damnation, man. He's gonna reap judgment. All right, and that's ultimately gonna come by way of thermonuclear missiles, man. All right, and if he don't get judged in Jacob's trouble. All right, but just an example of that. So the whole point is, lesson. All right, whatever is unprofitable unto you in this truth, if it's against the Most High in this truth, you have to cut it off. All right, you have to cut it off. It would be better that you cut it off, all right, than to hold on to it and then ultimately, you just be destroyed in the end and you can't be saved. All right, you won't be delivered. I say that. But that was pretty much it, man. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. All right, straight to the point. All right, to you believers of the hopeful elect out there. But with that, I just want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rechakwadash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and salutations unto the elect. Shalom.